Welcome to In the Spotlight, a regular podcast from the Witham, Barnard Castle's Community Arts Centre.
So in the spotlight this time, I'm sat with Andy Yeadon, who many people will know for music. He's a music teacher and a musician of note across Barney and Teesdale. But on this occasion, we're going to talk about complementary therapies, in particular Tai Chi. Would it be fair to call it a complementary?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. It would be banded in that. I would call it a holistic therapy.
You see, I'm an old cynic. And I'm not there. And being an old cynic means I know nothing about these things, but I still form an opinion. So, what are holistic therapies?
Okay, so a holistic therapy is a way of seeing things that, traditionally in the West, we sort of look at an ailment, a physical ailment in the body, and just look at that physical component, whereas a holistic therapy looks at our mind as well as the body at the same time. And there's correlations with the mind. So it's something very, very simple. If you imagine when you're feeling a bit low or down with yourself, you tend to sort of stoop forward, hunch your shoulders forward, whereas if you're feeling confident, your shoulders are held back, your head's upright. Now, if you could just imagine that, the amount of different strains and tensions in your body while you're in that, that first state compared to the second one, the mind is creating that actual physical thing. And obviously a holistic therapy goes far more deeper into this, into how the mind interacts with the body. And there's been a kind of, I think a lot of people, maybe like yourself, have this cynical idea that it's all a bit believing in fairies and a bit mumbo-jumbo nonsense. But there is, once you get into it, there's some very logical, common sense understandings, like I've just explained. So it's looking at the mind and the body at the same time. So we do a thing called Quigong. So I know it's advertised as Tai Chi, but no one knows what Quigong is. So Tai Chi...
Advertising standards. Yeah. On the phone any minute now.
I haven't had anyone complain coming. Tai Chi is actually a martial art. But it's a very complex martial art, and it integrates lots of this mind and body stuff into it. And it's what's called an internal martial art. So in a way, rather than fighting the opposition out there, we're fighting the demon inside us, as it were. So it's an internal martial art. What Qigong has done is sort of, it's been running alongside Tai Chi for a long, long time, but it's sort of taking all those elements out of Tai Chi that make us physically stronger and healthier and mentally in a better place, but getting rid of the martial arts aspects, because the martial arts elements are really quite complicated to learn and take a lot of time. And when your prime motivation for doing it is health, you don't need a lot of that sort of thing. So it's a simplified version of Tai Chi that is focused on health of mind and body.
And what's the aim of a session? What do you hope people take away from it?
Okay, so it is in its simplest form, it is a workout. We're doing lots of physical movement, and it's very, very subtle. It's very slow and it's very relaxed movement. But a lot of people who work out in the gym come to my classes, and at the end of it, like blinking out. That was harder than it looked. It's just because we're actually just holding our body in certain positions and just repeating moves over and over again without tension in the body. So you're kind of working your non-muscular stuff, like your sort of ligaments, tendons, all this sort of stuff. So in very simple terms, it is a workout. However, we're also working on the breath, which is really important. We're actually consciously breathing, rather than letting it be automatic that we normally do. We are consciously breathing and making sure we're using the full capacity of our lungs, and also consciously slowing down our breath rate. This coordinates with the moves. And what that has an effect, it essentially is telling your brain, I'm relaxed. So when your brain's relaxed, it lets other things happen in the body, like our arteries, our veins relax, blood flows more freely in the body. So there's lots of things go on from consciously slowing down our breathing, and there's a huge amount of scientific research about now to sort of to say how slowing the breathing down has massive benefits on us.
So who can take part in this? Do you need a certain level of fitness before you begin?
Absolutely not. And this is the absolute wonder of this this practice, is that anybody can do it. So I have lots of retired people coming, but also you can do it seated. So, for example, if you're if you're in a wheelchair, something like that, we can still do the breathing. We can still do the arm movements. Also, all the movements can be modified to suit you. So if you've got a certain problem, we can just change the move to suit what you can and can't do, because ultimately it is this breathing, this slowing the body down that makes the big difference. So I say, Qigong, you can do it till you drop. There's not going to be a point at which you say, all right, I've got to pack this in, like I did last year with judo. It was like, right, I've done 30 years of judo, this isn't going to do me any favours. You can just keep going with it, and it just makes your general physical condition so much better.
In the Spotlight, a regular podcast from the Witham, Barnard Castle's Community Arts Centre.
The beauty of recording one of these podcasts in a big vacuum of a hall is that you can hear when somebody comes in. And we've got the lovely Nikki Carter from the Mercury.
Hello, Nikki.
With her clogs. I bet she's got her clogs on. Absolutely.
I didn't know I was getting photographed.
I'll
have done my hair.
Come in to take our picture.
I've got my comfy jumper on.
I've got my comfy hoodie on as well.
My wife Claudia just desperately wants to put this in the bin. As you can see, it's completely raggy, but I just love it.
Is the classes follow on one from another, or are they self-contained? I mean, do people have to sign up for a set length of classes, or can they come up for one or two or whatever?
You pay per term, but obviously whatever point you join, you just pay for the remainder of that term. You don't have to pay for the whole term. But you can join at any point, because we have different levels of classes. So there's an absolute beginners class that's just a rolling program of the basic moves that you can just join at any time and pick it up there. So you don't have to wait for the start of any of the sessions. You can just drop me an email, drop me a text, give me a ring, and we'll just get you started.
What would you say to somebody like me, who, as I mentioned before, might be a bit cynical about all this?
Well, I mean, Qigong. I have been doing Qigong for about 28 years now, but it's and I've been sort of teaching it casually for the last 20 odd years, but it's only sort of the last couple of years I've decided I want to actually make this part of my sort of actual work life. So I've got I'm now a level 2 coach with the Feng Shui and Qigong Institute, and so yes, I've been doing it for a long time. I think what I would say to the cynics is, when I started doing this, it was a lot of nonsense, and Andy was a weird guy doing this. But I did it, and it felt good. And then as time's gone on, there's been scientific research come out. Oh yeah, actually, this is good for you. And it's like, well, look, it felt good, so I did it. And I think there's more and more stuff that people might think was a load of mumbo jumbo, that as time goes on, science is going to go, oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, we were barking up the wrong tree. Yeah, that does work. I'm sure there's a lot of it that is mumbo jumbo as well. So I always keep a very open mind on these things. But I think open mind is important. It is a case of, right, don't just believe it, but don't discount it either. Try it out. What I do find is that anyone that does Qigong after a few sessions just feels better.
Well, that's all you can ask for.
There's no doubt about that, and it does. I mean, we have people come with all sorts of ailments. I have someone that comes with asthma who's massively reduced their inhaler usage because of it. A lot of people with insomnia who are sleeping much better, and there's all lists of ailments that people come with. A lot of people come with arthritis. And it doesn't cure the arthritis, but it certainly helps them manage the pain of it. So there's, you just need to try it and be open-minded and just know that science hasn't discovered everything.
Yeah. And is it something that more and more people are turning to? Not just at your particular one that you're doing this time, Qigong, but holistic alternative therapies in general.
Absolutely, yeah. There's and again, a lot of it is backed by scientific research now, and I think that opens the doors for things. But sort of, again, when meditation first came to this country. A lot of it was, shrouded in a cloud of dope smoke, and it was the Beatles, and it was Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and I think, there was a kind of culture associated with it, that sort of hippie culture that maybe people didn't latch onto. But, now, again, huge amounts of neurological research gone into meditation, which is a key part of the Qigong, that now we see people getting in the NHS, in the police, going on mindfulness courses, funded by the police because they can see the benefit of it. So it's far more mainstream. It's not the thing that the alternative people do. It's something that we're sort of seeing is almost as key as brushing your teeth. And I do hope in 50 years this is something that will be taught as standard in schools, just in terms of keeping people's mental health, physical health right, because it's not an exercise in its own right. I would say you do your Qigong, but you still do whatever exercise you do. It's more like a fine-tuning of your system for your body and your mind that we're doing here.
Andy, thanks ever so much as ever. Just before you go, when's this fabled new album of yours coming out? Something completely different.
Well, actually,
that was promised last year, and we've already had the launch party.
Yeah. Well, we keep quiet about that. Yeah. So we thought we had it nailed last Sunday because we just had a little bit of Moray's vocals to put down. We did them. We were on a deadline because I had to pick Izzy up from the station. We had about 3 hours to get. And there was a few little backing vocals she had to put it down beautifully, and then the computer crashed and we lost it. So we're now going back tonight to record Moray's vocals, but then we've got most of it's mixed, so we've just got about a week of mixing to do. The guy's waiting in Norfolk to master it, and so it is imminent. It is imminent, but then obviously we've got to get it online and all that sort of stuff. But it is happening, and it does. I know we're saying this, but it does sound great. It sounds really good.
Well, a lot of us have heard a lot of it already because you've been playing it for a while.
You've heard a lot of the tracks, yes, but you haven't heard them like they've been recorded. It's all Owen Davies' magic in the studio. He's absolutely incredible what he can do. So so I'm looking forward to people hearing it.
Andy, thanks ever so much for joining us, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
And the next session of Tai Chi Quigong classes, led by Andy, begin on Thursday, April the 13th. You can get details by emailing Andy at mail@andrewyeadon.co.uk. You can call him on 07967 531 905, and the details are also online at www.thewitham.org.uk. Just go to the classes and workshops section on the website.
Thanks for listening to In the Spotlight from The Witham, Barnard Castle's Community Arts Centre. Available on all major podcast platforms. So please give us a follow and leave a comment. Or listen online at www.thewitham.org.uk. We'll be back soon with another episode.